Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another video, and I am redoing my intro after already hearing the song because I learned a lot from the visualizer. Like, this is the title track taken from Casey's upcoming record, How to Disappear. According to this visualizer, pre-orders should be live at the time you're watching this, and the album will be out on January 12th via Hassel Records and Grayscale Records, which is huge. I had no idea going into this that was the case, so needless to say, I was surprised. Huge shout out to Tom from Casey for getting this over to me in time to prepare a video for a release and hitting me with the big surprise because I saw this before any announcement came out. And now I know the album is coming very soon. It will be the first anticipated record of 2024, and I have a very strong feeling that this is going to be a difficult one to top. I'm expecting this to be one of my albums of the year, if not my album of the year next year. So we're going to check out How to Disappear by Casey. I love this band. I've talked a ton about them now on the channel at this point, both in the videos I've done since they reformed as a band with Great Grief last year, which was one of the single most exciting things that has happened since I formed my channel in 2020. Casey is back. They're putting out new music. All three of the songs that they've put out since reforming have stayed heavily on rotation for me and got a ton of plays. I'm expecting no different from this track, especially after hearing it. So all that being said, the visualizer I used in the reaction portion of this, pre-orders for the new album, all of Casey's social media, that good stuff will be in the description of this video. I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it. Title track!
Slipping out of focus, a steady decline. Every day's the same. It aches until you tell yourself you can't feel it anymore. But it makes your shadow heavy as you drag it on the floor. And you're happy till you're not, and you're unsure if you ever were. You're looking tired lately. Is it getting hard to hold yourself together? The vespertine reluctance to stay awake and engage with anything you say. You keeping count of how often I dissociate when is everything okay? When all I wanna know is how to disappear without leaving you to worry about me. It hurts to say, but I'm getting tired of running away from the same pain, from the same What if you woke up to an empty bed and a note that said,
Chorus hit me right in the stomach.
disregard or discontent, and there's a sparrow to listen, sharp despair may bitter. Sunlight golden, fractured glass.
Leads are gorgeous.
Grief unspoken. Lately I haven't been myself
body chills. Ooh. Casey, How to Disappear. Let's discuss. Unsurprisingly, I'm very happy with this. I'm not typically one to spoil an album closer before the album comes out, but there are a few bands that I simply cannot resist for, and that Animate would be one of them. That, one of their first singles was the closer on Heavener, and Casey is definitely one of them as well, and it just leaves me even more excited to see what kind of tracks will, fall in between before the closing of the album. But this is another fantastic track. This one is super emotive. It had me on the verge of tears the entire time. The chorus is powerful, especially the build leading into that last chorus. Outstanding. It's a chill-inducing song. There were multiple times where I felt like my body was cold and warm at the same time. Full body chills. Undoubtedly a band that I just can't get enough of, regardless of if they do a song like this where it's all singing, or if it has a bit of screaming in there, which it's been less for Casey with the more recent tracks, and I'm really not opposed to it. As much as I love Tom's scream, I think those parts add a lot to the song where they're necessary. This didn't feel like a track where it was necessary, and knowing that it closes out the record, it gives you a huge glimpse into the meaning behind the record. The title track, the album title has been dropped. It's a big part of the chorus in this track. All of that has me even more excited than I already was about a new Casey record coming, and their ability, like I had mentioned, some of the lead guitar being absolutely gorgeous, and it really harps into that emotional feel, the lyrical content of this song. The way it makes you feel like you want to cry with a lot of the power behind this track. So I think having Puncture Wounds to Heaven and this song as the two first singles off of the record is very exciting. I'm curious with Casey, they took a hiatus. They were broken up, and it looked at one point like we weren't going to see any more new music at all from Casey again. So going through a big shift like that and then coming back from it, making more new music, I'm really excited to see what this chapter will sound like in full for the band. Obviously, the Great Grief / Atone double single release was out of this world. Great Grief is one of my favorite songs that they've ever done. Atone gets stuck in my head all the time, and so does Puncture Wounds. So it's a band that's capable of doing multiple sounds, but typically any sound they do still makes me want to cry, and that is the expectation with Casey. They certainly delivered on it with this track. I think having the catchiness and the melodies, the deep meaning to the track, the beautiful leads on this, and also just the way that the instrumentals really match the feeling that the song gives if you were to just read through the lyrics or something without hearing any of the song. They've certainly matched that sort of level of emotional power and such that's expected from Casey at this point, but it still feels like we're going into a new chapter of the band, which makes total sense. We have been, given everything that I've already mentioned about what the band has been through and sort of how things have played out for them over the last 5 years or so. I guess I'll just mark it up to 5 years. But I reading through the song titles off of the record, there are a lot of songs I'm really excited to hear. I always am looking for those deep cuts from Casey, but honestly, it's hard to pick tracks in their discography that don't feel like deep cuts. I think there's levels to it when you're very familiar with the discography, but looking at it as a whole, there are deep cuts everywhere. So I don't think I'll be disappointed in that sense. I don't have a ton of I really want to hear this specific sound from them or this. I've just been loving everything that they've put out in their discography, and the new songs have, like I said, felt like a new chapter, felt really different, and it works very well for me because the big hooks or the really sorry, emotional like emotionally charged chorus is basically the entirety of this song with the emotionally charged portion. But when you look at the singing, the parts that stick out to you the most as something that you could see yourself, you know, belting along to in the car or something, those are moments I do really look forward to from them at this point. But it's still not I need them to do this or this for it to work for me. I'm just excited to see how they'll express these very honest lyrics as well. That's something that's always drawn me to this band, is the honesty in the lyrics, and this track 1000% taps into that. And you know, it's just where you hear a line, like any of the lines in the chorus of this song, or the pre-chorus as well, that I haven't felt like myself at all lately. I don't know the words obviously after hearing it one time, but those sort of deep cut lines, and the honesty and I think relatability of it too is something that has always made this band really special to me. So I am not at all disappointed with this track, especially knowing it's the closer off of this record. It's the title track off of this record. It just leaves a lot more excitement for whatever else will fill in those spaces. And like I mentioned, while I really enjoy when they do decide to put screaming in the song, something like this will end up with just as much plays for me as if something that, you know, maybe every verse had screaming or something. That's not a make it or break it for me when it comes to Casey. So I'm extremely happy with this. The words I'll probably learn very quickly as well, because it's just one of those tracks that leaves a strong impression after just one listen. I will probably just sit here talking in circles about how much I love this. I should wrap up cohesive thoughts probably and let y'all move along. So to summarize things, I love this track. It'll get a ton of plays from me. I am very excited for this record. A lot of the lyrics in this really hit me in a way that I feel like I needed right now. Not necessarily a bad thing when a song makes you want to cry or hits you in a really emotional way. I think the delivery on the vocals definitely, you know, it complements that sort of mood with the song, but they do an excellent job at bringing their instrumentals to match that same energy. I felt like there were parts where the vocals were definitely carrying, but then there's parts where the instrumentals do as well. Production on this sounds fantastic. I think in possibly the first verse, I'll definitely need to re-listen to solidify that. Possibly the build into that first pre-chorus, but I'm not 100% on that. You can hear the little details in there, some of the rolls on the snare kind of adding to that build, stuff like that really playing into making it feel like a well-rounded track, like not vocals or instrumentals are individually carrying the track. It feels like they're working together on it, I guess is the best way to explain that. I love this band. I think I've said all that needs to be said. There's nothing I would want to see different from this, especially knowing this is one of 12 tracks where we've only heard one additional song aside from this one. So there's still 10 songs to hear from this record. I'm not sure run times or if there are interludes or anything, but regardless, I'm always excited for new Casey. And I will link the visualizer I used in the reaction portion of this, pre-orders for the album, all the band's social media, that will be in the description of this video. Make sure to go give them some love, let them know if you're excited about this album like I am. This will be it's going to be hard going into 2024 with it's going to be hard to get more albums announced that will bring the same level of hype that this one does. So we've already got a huge contender for 2024. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about Puncture Wounds in this track. Which one is your favorite? If you have one of the two, that will be a hard decision to make. I will link my link tree in the description as well. That will have any link that you need related to my channel, Patreon, Twitch, the Discord server invite link, which is where the community is based for my YouTube channel. On Twitch, I'm working on getting that back up and going at the time I'm filming this. This is my third day being back at my setup after unplanned having to take a 2-week plus break, which really put me back, but I'm back to recording. I'm hoping to get back to doing my live streams very soon as well, and in addition to the weekly request live streams that I do, we'll be doing some more music related stuff to close out the year, and some stuff that's not related to 2023 that I'm planning on rolling out before the end of the year as well. So if you want to be notified when I go live, see what kind of stuff I'm doing on Twitch, feel free to give that Twitch channel a follow in the link tree. Patreon, I offer various different things. We'll be doing a lot of 2023 end of the year stuff. We're making a patron list of favorite things, opposed to like I'll have my own 2023 list. A lot of people who are in the Discord server, on the Patreon, they'll have their own, but we're gonna vote to make a patron 2023 favorites that will have albums, EPs, songs, breakdowns, choruses, riffs, that sort of stuff. So if you want to check out what else I offer, I make playlists for tier 3. I update them every month with 20 to 25 songs based off of for fans of that they provide me, stuff like that. If you want to see what else, it's all listed out in the tiers on that link. And then the Discord server, the community I mentioned, we've got the homies in there hanging out, music related conversation unrelated to music as well. So if you want to come join, check that out. That will be there as well. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.